Yeah, I mean, it started when I was little. I would literally sit in my living room when I was like in diapers, and my parents, like any sort of ball, football, basketball, it didn't matter. There was buckets of balls, and I would sit there on my little tykes, hoop, and just shoot and shoot and shoot. And I mean, I was always around basketball. And finally, when I got to middle school, I was like, hey, I'm a pretty good shooter. I really have a chance to be good at this. And so I made a promise to myself that, I was gonna give everything I had to basketball and see where I could see where it could take me. And so, I mean, there's countless hours. It's not a road that anyone can just go down. Like I put just an insane amount of work into it, and I still do to this day. And
thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible. All right, welcome back. We are live at Colbert Hills. Threema is here for the Cats Classic with Wildcat NIL. Make sure you get to catsnil.com and get signed up there. Start kicking in to get more David Castillos here on the roster. But David, man, we're really excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What's the adjustment to college life been like so far for you, man?
It's been fairly easy. Being at Sunrise last year, I was away from home, and that was probably just the biggest transition from last year. Just being away from family and kind of just being on yourself by yourself. So this year, it's kind of been fairly easy. It just feels like a sophomore year, really, away from home.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to hear you say, like, easy to transition to college, because, like, we've heard just rave reviews about how things have gone for you so far. As far as, like, the basketball aspect of it goes, like, how do you feel like that's gone?
The guys have been pushing me every day, and the coaches have been holding me accountable, which I love. I love that part of, the growth aspect. And so, that's probably just been the best part on the court. It's just being able to grow and learn.
David, we've heard coaches and the players talk about you as a leader already. In fact, I had a friend that was at the K-State basketball camp this summer who said, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought David Castillo was a senior on this team by the way that you engage. Like, is that something you embrace as being a leader? How challenging is that as a freshman, though, coming in?
I wouldn't say it's challenging. I just think it's the right thing. Just living by the Bible and just everything that we do, I think it's just the right thing. Just keep stacking the right things and hold everybody to that standard. And I feel like that's just been just part of what we do.
I mean, we got to circle back to your recruitment, obviously, and how you ended up here. I mean, and I know you've been asked about this before, but what was it about Kansas State that stood out and sold you on Jerome Tang and this coaching staff to wanting to come here?
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff, there's no other coaching staff like this in the country. And, they're just special people, and there's special people everywhere. When we walk around town, when we go out to eat, it's just special people all the time. And so it was an easy choice.
In terms of like the transfers that have kind of came in, they're basically newcomers, just like you, right? Which ones have you kind of clicked with, or which ones have just really came in and hit the ground running for you guys so far?
All of them. I mean, I feel like everybody has just made an impact, whether that's off the court, on the court. Every single transfer that's come in, and they've been, open, and they've been learning just like everybody else. And so it's been an easy way to, get to know those guys and then know them on the court too, because they're open to learning.
Who are you tightest with on the team?
I mean, everybody. Yeah, I mean, I try to reach out to everybody on the team and build a specific bond. Everybody has their own interests. So, I try to build an interest with them and figure out a way to be tight with everybody. But I mean, I'm pretty much tight with everybody on the team. It's a special group. It's a special group.
Beating everybody in NCAA, like you got Coleman the other day?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
okay. Yeah. He confirmed that for us.
He said you were looking at his plays.
No.
He said if he played online, he spoke.
He was just upset that he don't let him talk to
you. How was you had Keontae, Marquise, those guys back, the alumni, and got to go up against those guys. What was that experience like? Dean Wade and some of those guys in the NBA at the next level that were K-State greats.
Yeah, it was great. Those guys, they know the K-State standard. They know the Jerome Tang standard, and they held us to it, and it was great to pick their brains too, to kind of understand and how Manhattan works and just the tradition. So it was great for them to come up and play against them.
What was the biggest takeaway? You said you got to pick the brain. So if you picked the brain of Marquise Noel, what'd you kind of figure out?
He was just telling me to stay in the film room. That's one key exponent, one key component that I've been doing over the summer and this school year is just staying in the film room and watching back things that that happened during the game and just picking the brains of the coaches and understanding players' movements, all kinds of things like that that go into the game and impact winning.
Did you get to talk and hang out with Jacob Pullen?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. Oh, that was great. That's my guy. We always chop it up, and he's an open guy, and so we always chop it up for however long. But I love when Jacob comes up.
How long have you known him then?
I've known him. I'm not sure. We kind of just like, I think it was around maybe 2 years now, 3 years.
Do you remember watching him in college? I mean, you would have been what, like 5?
I was probably like 4, 5. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really a K-State fan growing up, so I didn't really know much about Jacob. So as soon as I committed, he reached out, and then obviously Clint with the connection with him, and so. But yeah, I've definitely watched games back, and he was a dude for sure.
Were you like an OSU fan growing up?
I wasn't really a fan of anything. I really wasn't really watching college basketball like that. I really was just playing.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Clint, right? Clint Stewart, for those that don't know, was your high school coach. How much have you seen of him, like back in the day? Have you watched like Clint Stewart playing at K-State?
Yeah. I usually give him a hard time, but he was a good point guard. He was a great point guard, and I give him a hard time about not scoring enough. I feel like he could do a lot more.
Okay. I kind of agree with that. He could have shot the ball a little bit more. What did he tell you? Like, how helpful was that to have him in this process, giving you the heads up on what to expect here at K-State?
Yeah. He was very helpful. Obviously, he didn't really help much with like the recruiting part. A lot of people think that Clint, kind of helped me commit to Kansas State, but he didn't really help at all. Yeah, he was just telling me, pick what's the best fit and where you feel most comfortable. And so, he just helped me off the court, like off, not basketball, helped me with life. So he helped me out a lot with that.
Yeah. How do you kind of view your role this year on this team, David?
Whatever my role happens to be, if that's, I kind of piggyback on what kind of Reed Shepherd said too. Like, if I have to bring waters up to players, I'll do that. Whatever. I just want to be a team guy. Just impact. If I need to be a bench, rah guy, then I can do that. Just a team guy.
I know you mentioned getting in the film room more, but is there on the court a focal point for you that you're focusing on getting better at as you head into the season?
Getting my teammates more involved. I think getting my teammates more involved and earlier in the game and things like that. I think just getting those guys going, and they play much better when they're feeling good.
I'll ask a question I'm sure the fans want to know. How's this team shooting the 3 ball at the moment?
Oh, exceptional. You can't leave nobody open. The spacing on the court, it feels so open that, as soon as you leave somebody open and the ball zips over there, it's going in.
How hard is it to get a shot up? You guys got 11 guys 6'4" or taller.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the two that's not 6'4". How hard is it to get a shot up against this length?
I mean, for me, it's not that difficult. But
that's a good answer.
The length, you can definitely feel it when you're driving down to the paint, and guys are just everywhere. It feels like the court sometimes get packed, but it's nice. You got a nice rim protection.
I know you mentioned you love Jake. Is there though a player that you really try to emulate, that either at a college level or professional level, that you're just a fan of and try to model your game after?
Not really. Obviously there's guys like in the NBA level, like Jalen Brunson, Trae Young, guys that are my size that are playing at a really high level. But I really try not to emulate really anybody. I think that my own style of play is my own style. And so I kind of just try to perfect that by watching film and watching myself.
What do you feel like are the biggest strengths that you have on the court right now?
I think my biggest strengths is like my poise. I think I'm very under control. I don't get riled up too much. I like what you said. My leadership. I feel like I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to hold guys accountable. I'm not afraid to hold myself accountable. And probably last thing is my shooting. I feel like I can really shoot the ball.
Where the leadership capabilities, like, does that come from family? Like, when was that really ingrained?
My family, everybody in my circle, people who just build confidence in me. My family, they always talk about, just being yourself. And I know myself and understand myself, and so I'm comfortable and I know which buttons to push and within myself and everything. So it's just my circle.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
My leadership.
The three of us have interviewed a lot of freshmen in our time. David, you're no freshman, man. I mean, it shows. You're impressive.
What about these unis? Before I let you go, we saw the new uniforms on social media. What do you think?
I love them.
Okay. David, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day here, and we look forward to watching you play.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, the best thing to wear out on the golf course is home field apparel. Best thing to wear anywhere. If you're going to Bill Snyder Family Stadium, if you are going to be at Colbert Hills, if you're going to Bramlage Coliseum, get geared up, everybody. Go to homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code 3MAW24 for 15% off your first order. You can even get this lovely hat that our sunglassed friend Derek Young is wearing right now. Hopefully he's got like a Central Michigan Chippewas home field apparel T-shirt underneath there or something. We'll never know. But who knows? We've seen a lot of things out of DY. They've got 100-plus teams. They've got 50-plus K-State designs. Lots of great old school stuff. It is the best college gear around. Homefieldapparel.com. Promo code 3MAW24 for 15% off your first order. Well, of course, we have to give a special shout out to our friends at Alenco. It's alencohome.com, ALENCO home.com. If you have any home improvement needs, they've got the hookup for you there, and they are awesome K-State folks that honestly I'm sure have been out here at Colbert Hills and golfed before because they love the Cats. That's why they approached us on the pod. So whatever it is that you need, windows, siding, any kind of home improvement needs, go to alencohome.com, ALENCO home.com, and support some great K-Staters that are a locally owned company in an industry where most have been bought out by big major companies. So deal with local people and deal with some Cats for your home improvement needs at alencohome.com.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Welcome back here on 3MAW. John Kurtz, Cole Manbeck, Derek Young. We are live at the For the Cats Classic, brought to you by Wildcat NIL. For Wildcat NIL out here at Colbert Hills, make sure you get over to catsnil.com and help out the cause. We've got Brendan Hausen here, one of the newest Wildcats, sharpshooter. We appreciate you being here, and we were just talking about your golf game. You are a golfer. You like to play. You're not playing today, but we were also talking to Coleman about this earlier. So yeah. I'm curious, have you golfed with him, and like who's got the better game between you?
Me, Coleman, and Spencer Bain actually play quite often. I will say I am in last place.
Last place.
I would say I'm a late bloomer for golf. I didn't start playing until really this last year, kind of. So I'm working on it. I'm on the come up. Some days are better than others.
You know what Coach Tang says. If you have time to golf, then you're not busy enough.
Exactly.
So there you go. You haven't had time to golf, Brandon.
Exactly. I need more practice when I retire.
I mean, literally, Cole does all this research, and he put together all these notes of you. I believe one of them was Kyle Neptune found you like sleeping in the gym at one point because you're getting shots up. Like, tell us about this.
Yeah. I mean, well, it probably started in high school. I probably honestly didn't sleep enough. My parents used to have to restrict me from going to the gym, and I was there too much and everything. And then I got to college, and some mornings we would have really early workouts. So I'd love to be the first on the floor and get my workout in before practice. So one night it was probably like 2, 3 in the morning. I was waking up, kind of getting ready to go work out, and here he came walking into the locker room and saw me sleeping in there. So yeah, they weren't too fond of that. They didn't like me sleeping in the locker room, so they put a stop to that.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously shows the dedication, and that's why, is it 150 threes in a row that you made at one point?
Yeah. It was like 150. I don't know. We don't really know. The video was so long that we didn't even stop to count, but it was a lot of threes. Yeah.
It's a nice humble brag, Brendan. The Twitter doesn't allow you to post the video long enough because I couldn't stop making threes.
Right.
It was amazing. Yeah, I think it was well over 105. I think I read an article from Scott Fritcher where he said it was 105. I mean, I'm curious, how many hours a day do you work getting shots up throughout your journey? Like, take us through your journey of how you became such a prolific shooter.
Yeah, I mean, it started when I was little. I would literally sit in my living room when I was like in diapers, and my parents, like any sort of ball, football, basketball, it didn't matter. There was buckets of balls, and I would sit there on my little tykes, hoop, and just shoot and shoot and shoot. And I mean, I was always around basketball. And finally, when I got to middle school, I was like, hey, like, you know, I'm a pretty good shooter. I really have a chance to be good at this. And so I made a promise to myself that, you know, I was gonna give everything I had to basketball and see where I could see where it could take me. And so, I mean, there's countless hours. It's not a road that anyone can just go down. Like, I put just an insane amount of work into it, and I still do to this day. And I mean, you know, the early mornings, waking up at 4:30 in high school, going to the gym, dragging my best friend to come rebound for me. Then, you know, we'd play a game some nights. Like, I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning and have a game, and the next night or the next morning I'm waking up again at 4:30. Like, I was just doing insane amounts of work, and you know, it's paying off. So I can't even describe it.
You're at Kansas State now, obviously, after transferring from Villanova. From our understanding, Coach Malgi played a big role in coming here.
Yeah, Coach he's known me since I was 7th, 8th grade. You know, he's been at a few different places. And so, you know, we had a relationship since I was young. You know, he was out of coaching for a little bit, and so I was fortunate enough to meet him and kind of have a relationship with him. So that's been awesome, and it's kind of a full circle moment to be at K-State and have him here in my corner. It's definitely a blessing.
One of your missions, I think, coming here is, we've talked all about the shooting, is to be more than just a shooter, right?
More than just a shooter, yeah. I mean, I know there's more to my game, and they're helping me. They're pushing me every single day to expand my game, which I know that I'm fully capable of. So I'm excited to be here to get better.
Take me through the process once you hit the portal, like how K-State got on your radar and what sold you on this.
Yeah, honestly, I tell people it's kind of like a God thing. You know, we entered the portal. We kind of knew, you know, what we were looking for. It was like, you've already been through this one time coming out of high school, so you don't want this to be super long. And it came down to Nebraska, Kentucky, Virginia Tech, and a few other schools, but I would say those were my three. And actually, I was supposed to come out to K-State, which I did, and then I was supposed to drive up to Nebraska. But while I was on my visit at K-State, actually someone committed in my position at Nebraska, and, you know, I mean, I can't be mad. You know, there's not a lot of time in the portal, so I was like, okay, that's, you know, God told me I don't need to go there. And at the same time, the Kentucky coaches were trying to get across the country because they had came from BYU, so, and they didn't really know anything about Kentucky, so they couldn't really give me any information, and they didn't know when they were going to be fully moved in. So I was like, I really don't have that much time to, you know, kind of wait. And then I met with Virginia Tech, and after my visit at Kansas State, I was like, it's between these two, you know, this is where God wants me. And so it kind of just, it worked out that way, and I'm so blessed that it did.
Yeah, well, did it help that you would at least experience the environment this past year with the game that
no,
you
I mean,
played at Villanova?
Unbelievable. I mean, I tell people all the time, obviously it wasn't a fun way to lose, but what a great environment. I was like, wow, like this is Big 12 basketball. These fans, I mean, they live and die for K-State, and I was like, why would you not want to play for a place that just loves their team like that? So that was awesome.
What was the experience? So you commit to Villanova out of high school to Jay Wright, and then he retires, kind of out of the nowhere. Probably a shock. You stick with Villanova. You play there for 2 years. An historic program, won multiple national titles over the last decade. What was it like playing at Villanova, and what were your emotions when Jay Wright decided to retire?
Yeah, I mean, you're 17, 18 years old, and you know, you think that you're making the right decision for yourself and your family, and then all of a sudden, you know, 2 weeks before you're supposed to move off to college, your world changes. And it was, I don't ever say that it was a wrong decision. I don't believe that, you know, that it was a wrong decision. It was unfortunate that it worked out like that, and it was hard for me and my family, but we decided to stick to it, and I'm happy we did. I had a great 2 years there, and I'll forever be thankful for that place and those people. But yeah, it was definitely tough. But, you know, getting to play in the Big East, getting to, you know, experience those cool things, it obviously, you know, helped me and shaped me and kind of molded me to who I am now, and I'm thankful for it.
You're from Amarillo, Texas, and obviously everybody knows you got the nickname the Amarillo Assassin.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a coin nickname here in Manhattan yet? I got an idea.
I have not got a coin nickname yet.
Okay, what do you think about this, Brendan? These guys will roll their eyes. The Manhattan Marksman.
I love it. Let's do it. We could change it up.
Oh, thanks for making me feel good about
I
that.
don't know. I can't. I may have been the one that first said. I feel like you guys made fun of me at one point for saying
Yeah.
that. So
It's a Manhattan marksman?
I was probably
Yeah.
critical because I think John did come up with it like months ago.
Okay.
Big fisher, right?
Love fishing.
You got any spots you keep?
I have actually. Don't tell anybody, but right down here there's a pond on the golf course. Yeah, we've been going down there fishing some, and then I got a few people that have let me on their property a few times to go catch some bass. So that's been nice.
What's your like greatest catch? In your
Greatest catch?
fishing career.
I've caught a few like 9-pounders out in Florida. My aunt and uncle have a lake in their backyard, and so my dad would go sit out there. We've caught some huge fish.
It's bass, right? Fish
Bass.
for
I love bass. Yep, bass fishing for sure.
My dad just got over 100 fish with him and his buddy.
Yeah, that's
Not all bass.
Yeah.
Catching a bunch of different things. But
awesome.
yeah. I mean, how have you seen this team come together since you've gotten here? And
Yeah.
kind of the chemistry that's building.
Yeah, obviously a unique situation, guys coming from all over to new places, but man, like so fast, like these guys became my brothers. I think it's really cool to have, a few guys that have been here and kind of, show us the way, but then also figuring it out, with these guys, a new start, having to build a brotherhood and team chemistry. It's been awesome. And, I'm blessed to call these guys my brothers.
Does it feel like that chemistry is like the biggest key? Because it feels like you guys have more than enough talent.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the talent's there, the skill's there, but yeah, the chemistry, just understanding each other. We went on a retreat, last weekend, and just getting to hear guys, life stories, getting to hear, where they came from, kind of their background, eye-opening, just awesome. So it's been really, really cool.
We were just talking to David Castillo.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't sound like a freshman at all.
No.
How impressed have you been with how he's adjusted to college?
I'm impressed, but I know, people around me have noticed it too, how well he carries himself, how much of a leader he is. He's going to be really, really special. I'm so blessed to have him on my team. He's awesome.
The other thing we were asking him about was like all the length that you guys have on this team, like as a guard. Like how tough does that make life for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm used to now the game, the speed of the game, and I work at getting my shot off fast, but I really have to get it off fast here. And driving down the lane, like those guys are big. They ain't just going in there and shooting a layup without somebody coming to block it. So yeah, it's definitely making us better for sure.
You're obviously a prolific shooter, but you guys brought in 6 guys plus David.
Right.
But when you look at the 6 guys between you and all of them that came in through the portal, a combined over 700 attempts from 3 last year, shot 38% combined.
Yeah.
Just how well do you think you guys are going to be able to space the floor with your shooting?
I mean, the numbers don't lie. I think it's going to be unbelievable. And it takes a lot of pressure off of each guy because other guys around can knock down shots. So it's like, what are defenses going to do? How are they going to play it? And, everybody's going to get open shots. So.
Another guy we don't know a lot about yet, and we're going to talk to him here in a little bit, is Ugana and Yenso.
Yeah.
How would you describe him? Is it just rim protection, or is there more there?
Rim protection, a force down low. I mean, if he gets it, his go-to turnaround jump hook is money. Great screener. Rolls hard to the rim, so he does a lot of key things. I mean, he's huge on defense. Switching ball screens, his length, deflecting passes. He's going to be huge key for us.
What'd you think of the uniforms? We saw those get
Man,
rolled down on.
I mean, how do you not like them, Brandon? Those are sweet. I mean,
What's your favorite ones? Is it the lavender? It's my favorite.
I love the lavenders. Yeah. I also like the white ones that say that, like the Wildcats. I got the
Yeah.
I love those. I think those are awesome.
I think those are the fans'
Yeah.
most common favorites, the lavenders and those.
Yeah, I think that is probably my favorite. Well, hey, we appreciate you, Brendan. Enjoy your time out here, and we look forward to watching you play.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.